This isn't a conspiracy theory video, is it? Nah. And I know, a lot of y'all are probably going through classes right now and don't need another reason to feel like everything you thought was real isn't. But learning is good for you. So sit down, whippersnappers, and learn why your reality isn't real. But before that, you ought to make sure you're eating your veggies to grow big and strong, or at least help your body and soul. Though, can I really say that? I mean, vegetables aren't real. I promise you, this isn't a conspiracy theory vid. Vegetables aren't actually a thing like, let's say, fruits are. A fruit is anything that has a seed or seeds, but there isn't really a biological definition of a vegetable. Chefs made it up to describe different edible parts of plants. So, cucumbers and eggplants are as much fruits as oranges and strawberries. Which, speaking of berries, the fruits that you first think of as berries probably are not, because a true berry has to come only from one flower with one ovary. Yes, that means strawberries, raspberries, and blackberries are not berries, but watermelons, tomatoes, and cucumbers are. In the simplest sense, VeggieTales is a scam because vegetables aren't real, and Bob and Larry are berries. So they should call the show the Fruity Tales, but they can't do that because that sounds gay. Yeah, classifying fruits isn't the only thing that gets our head spinning. We don't really even know what a species is. Okay, let me clarify something. We have multiple ways of classifying species. I'm not trying to tell everyone with a PhD in taxonomy that their degrees aren't real, but even they have to admit that there's a variety of different systems for classifying species, and there isn't really a universal agreement on which way is the best. In some instances, those different ways even contradict each other. For most of history, we've been just telling different species from the way they look, but that doesn't work as well when they look different but have similar ancestors, or look the same and have different ancestors. On the other hand, genetics alone doesn't really cut it either. Others can explain this more eloquently, but yeah, as far as I'm aware, that's a bit of an ongoing kerfuffle in the biology world. Okay, so biology and some other sciences are more confusing than we might have first thought, and maybe you dislike stuff like English, history, and other social stuff because maybe some teachers can discriminate against you because they dislike the way that you write stuff. But at least in math, 1 + 1 always equals 2, so the numbers never lie, right? Please don't say that 1 + 1 doesn't equal 2. Well, okay, yes, 1 + 1 equals 2. Let me be real. But 0.99999 with the 9 always repeating plus itself also equals 2. Because folks, 0.99999 repeating is treated as the same number as 1. Actually, it isn't treated as the same number as 1, it is the same number as 1. If that's not crazy enough, the sum of every natural number, which what I mean by that is every single whole number that's positive, so that does not include 0. All of those added together, like 1 + 2 + 3 + 4 + 5, all of that added together equals -1/12. Yeah, that one, I don't even know how to explain. I've seen some papers about it, and I'm not even going to pretend that I understand how that one works. But yeah, I can say in terms of that, my understanding is close to 0. Which, speaking of 0, despite what your overpriced missile-making company calculator tells you when you put any number divided by 0, there's actually times when you can divide stuff by 0. Alright. You know what I hope isn't 0? The number of people who go down and click the subscribe button. I mean, yes, I think we're all left a bit more confused and kerfuffled by what we learned here. But you know, that's also kind of what makes learning beautiful. Because lot of times it's easy to think that there was a golden age of learning, like the ancient Greeks had dominance with philosophy, and a bunch of people in the 1800s had the best times in learning chemistry and biology. But you know, there's always something that's interesting that makes learning a fresh thing day by day. So go out there, find the beauty in the seemingly plain and basic, and maybe even challenge yourself to see different things from as many different angles as you can. Oh, by the way, speaking of angles, not all triangles have to have angles which altogether add up to 180 degrees. That was a fun fact. That's only the Euclidean triangle, but you know, there's other types. Alright, I'll get going now. Bye, see you, sayonara, and stay blessed.